And especially, I think more people are becoming more and more educated by the fact is that, and you alluded to this a second ago too, is that whether you can trust the label or not.
100%.
Yeah, because what happened is that the government took off the country of origin on the labels. So, say for instance,
why'd they do that?
Why they do it? Well, it's really kind of a long and drawn out kind of thing, but really what's happening, what that's causing, the problem it's causing for us is, or for I guess I'd say Americans in general, is that whenever you go to the grocery store and you see grass-fed there, okay, depending on whether you're talking about lamb or beef or whatever, but it's more than likely is not raised in the United States, and it's going to come from any number of countries. Okay, everybody likes to say, well, it comes from Australia because we think Australia is like beautiful and green and clean and all this kind of stuff. Yeah. We spent some time living in China. Yeah. And so we can tell you that the things that you see that come out of these countries are not what goes on behind the camera, right? And so it may come from Australia or New Zealand. It may very well do that. And there's probably not anything wrong with that meat, right, as far as cleanliness. But whenever it comes from Argentina
or Brazil
or somewhere down in South America, is that the same to you? And who overlooks that process?
That's what
and says that animal is truly grass-fed and it's clean, or has it been fed paper and stale candy? And
actually, it's not been regulated in any of the countries.
And I find that to be very ponderous because the FDA is all too fast to not allow a useful drug, for example, on the market that could help save lives until it's passed through all the right studies and all the right hands and gets all the rubber stamps and all of that. And a lot of that can be political, especially with big pharma. And we're not here today to talk about big pharma, but we are, because if you really think that food is medicine, then that's as important as big pharma. And why wouldn't the government be interested in vetting those labels and where that's coming from? And why, when it's going in your body, do you make it less of a priority than what you put in your truck? If I pull up at QT and I put the unleaded spout into my diesel, I'm in big trouble. Same with the other way around. But you pull up to the dinner table and have no idea where that came from or if what was said on the label was true, and it's going down the hatch and you don't even think twice about it until you're, I guess, like we said earlier, suffering the adverse effects of your nutrition plan.
But it's even worse than that, because I would say they intentionally try to deceive you. And what I mean by that is that if the animal is killed in another country and it comes into the U.S. as a carcass, it's a whole basic animal, primal is what we call it. So it comes in as that, and it goes into a USDA approved processing facility, and they cut it into steaks and grind it into hamburger and that kind of thing. Then on the label they can put that it's a product of the USA. When the reality of it is it is not a product of the USA.
Absolutely not.
Yeah,
it's almost like making all the parts for a vehicle overseas and then bringing them to Alabama and calling it a Made in America Toyota.
Yeah.
And that doesn't make sense to me why